Have you ever stopped to really look at a bicycle wheel? Not just the tire, but the thin metal wires connecting the center to the edge. If you look closely, you'll notice they aren't just placed randomly. They cross over each other in intricate, beautiful patterns, usually passing over 2 or 3 other spokes before reaching the rim. But why? Why not just run them straight from the middle to the outside? Well, better yet, why not just use a solid piece of metal? The answer involves a surprising mix of aviation history, brilliant physics, and a clever engineering trick designed to stop your wheel from collapsing the moment you start pedaling. Welcome to Everyday Objects, Extraordinary Stories. Today, we're untangling the fascinating secret behind bicycle spoke patterns. To understand the pattern, we have to look at the first bicycles from the 1800s. They used wheels made of solid wood and iron, exactly like horse-drawn wagons. They were incredibly heavy, stiff, and gave a ride so horribly bumpy that these early bikes were literally nicknamed bone shakers. Bicycle makers knew they needed a lighter wheel. Surprisingly, the solution didn't come from the cycling world, but from aviation. In 1808, an English engineer named Sir George Cayley was trying to build early flying machines. He needed a wheel that was feather-light, but strong enough to survive a landing. He realized that instead of using heavy solid wood to support weight, he could use thin cords of wire. Bicycle manufacturers soon adopted Cayley's wire spoke design. It was a massive leap forward, cutting the weight of the bicycle drastically. But thin wire comes with a huge problem. If you push down on a thin piece of wire, it bends and buckles instantly. So, how on earth can wire spokes hold up a human being? The secret is that bicycle spokes do not work by being pushed. They work by being pulled. When a bicycle wheel is built, the spokes aren't just slotted in. They are tightened incredibly hard. They are pulled tight like the strings of a piano, putting the entire wheel under massive tension. When you sit on a bicycle, your weight pushes down on the center hub, but instead of the hub resting on the bottom spokes, which would snap them, the tension across the entire wheel shifts perfectly. The spokes at the bottom simply lose a tiny bit of their tightness, while the rigid rim in the rest of the taut spokes hold everything in a perfectly round shape. It is an absolute masterpiece of physics, a web of fragile wires working together to become stronger than solid steel. But this brings us back to our main mystery. Why the crossing patterns? If tension is all that matters, why not just run the spokes in straight lines from the hub to the rim, like a sunburst? Well, you can run spokes straight. It's called a radial pattern. But there's a catch. Radial spokes are terrible at handling twisting forces, or what engineers call torque. Imagine you're at a red light. The light turns green, and you push hard on the pedals. The chain pulls forcefully on the center hub, trying to spin it. If your spokes were perfectly straight, the hub would twist slightly before the rim even moved. The spokes would stretch and flex, absorbing your hard-earned pedaling energy, and over time, the wheel would literally tear itself apart. To fix this, engineers angled the spokes. By angling them so they lean forward and backward, leaving the hub and crossing over one another, the spokes act like ropes. When you pedal, half of those angled spokes pull instantly on the rim, transferring your energy directly to the road with zero wasted effort. This crossed pattern, usually called a three-cross design, creates a wheel that can withstand the extreme forces of pedaling, jumping, and harsh braking. It's an engineering marvel that we pass by every single day, a perfect balance of tension, angles, and history, allowing a few thin pieces of wire to carry us across the world. Next time you lock up your bike or see a cyclist ride by, take a second to appreciate the brilliant geometry spinning right beneath them. If you enjoyed unraveling this everyday mystery with me, please hit the like button, share this video with a curious friend, and subscribe to Everyday Objects, Extraordinary Stories for more stories hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.